Welcome to this installment of Creative Cabin Fever. Today I have Paul McDonnell as my guest. He is a very well-known artist and I'm incredibly honoured and privileged to be able to talk to him. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, everybody. My name is Paul McDonnell. I suppose, well, I've been told everybody knows me, but when you're on this side of the fence, you feel like nobody knows you. But I've been working in the film industry for about 25 years, but in the last 10 years or so, there and thereabouts, I've been teaching more and more or less. I have found that the work life of film didn't work well with my body. So I teach more, and I don't just teach at the minute. I teach up in IADT in Dublin, but I work with Mockness. I've got into doing lots of stop motion animation, and that is up the road from me, which is bizarre. I live in Spittle. I've sort of got into this weird world of making, sort of trying to make things come to life.
And that's amazing. I've been enjoying your live streams myself whenever I get a bit of downtime, even just watching someone work with clay and to
Yeah.
see the incredible results. Like, obviously, people watching this at home can see your workshop behind us. It's beautiful. The detail you're able to get out of clay is just insane.
Well, you called it a workshop. It was a playroom, until 2 weeks ago, and with all of this stuff going up in the air, and and I think it's the same for everybody. I was at work, and a guy came in and said, "You need to leave," and I said, "What?" And the whole place went, "Wah!" And I ended up at home with my car full of stuff, and I needed somewhere to teach, and I have nowhere to teach here. So this here is now my workshop, which is great. I have somewhere now at the house that I can actually create stuff. But yeah, these are what I'm working on at the minute. That's what I'm working on at the minute is Mr. Beckett at the background there. He's keeping me sane, and the lives. I don't know. I think they're happy people. I think it's just passing an hour anyway, instead of thinking about what's going on around us. It's nice.
And it's allowing other people to pass an hour as well, because as you were saying yourself in our pre-interview, it was really interesting to you that a lot of people were just watching it to watch what you're doing, which is what I'm doing. Like, I'm not I'm not an artist. I'm not intentionally, like, I had planned on getting clay for today so we could do something special, but the universe is not working in my favor on that one. But it's really interesting to watch an artist's progress and their process. And I love that about your tutorials online that I've been able to oversee. Like, it's beautiful just to see someone creating. Like, that's
Sure.
something we don't get an insight into very often.
No, and I suppose uh, I didn't put the lives out really for me. I just put it out, and I was going, "Oh my God, is anybody going to watch this?" Or and I was even thinking, "What are people going to say? Is this going to be crap? Yeah, is anybody going to watch it at all?" And I was a bit blown away by people's reactions in that. Like we sort of all in our own bubbles at the minute, and this is our only way of connecting really and visually seeing things. And like somebody can't sit beside me, and at the minute usually I'm hands on with somebody, and I will touch the actual clay and move it on, they move it on. I can't do that at the minute. So I put it out there, and people were saying they found it very relaxing to watch me just move stuff around. And I'm looking at it going, I'm not really doing anything. And then I started talking to the camera, which is well bizarre. I don't do this. It's not a comfort zone at all. I talk to lots of students, all right. Like I talk to about 40, 50 students a day. But this format's weird. But the response back was really nice, and it was quite encouraging. Like people look at me and they look at my stuff, and they would see somebody who's possibly very confident in where they are or what they're doing. But I'm not. I'm like everybody else, and like I'm thrown into this mad scenario, and I'm trying to find a way of connecting with people. And this is just a well, it's not so weird now. It was very weird at the beginning, but people like literally yesterday, somebody was saying that this is what I go out on Wednesdays at 3 and Saturdays at 3, GMT. I've had people on to me from Mexico saying we can't get you, and I'm going, where in the world are you? Mexico. And I go, well, that's GMT. That's in Ireland, and that's mad. But I had one person on to me yesterday and says she looks forward to this hour. It's something that well, it's helping people to sort of maybe cope or just have something. Oh, that's my plan. Like time is gone. I don't even know what day it is. And at least if you have a reminder and say, no, we'll be with Paul, and he'll be scupping away and just yapping about stuff. It's cool. It's really cool.
No, it is. It's really, really cool. And the fact that you have people as far as Mexico, excuse me, as far as Mexico reaching out to you, that's
Yeah.
must be mind blowing. How do you feel?
Well, I have had a Japanese person on to me and somebody from Mexico. And now I think they think I can speak Japanese, and I think they can I can speak Spanish, but I cannot. I did a big massive cheat. They said something in Spanish and in Japanese. I googled it. I translated it. Sort of understood what they were saying, and then whacked it into Google again and said, hello, I'm glad you're enjoying this, and how are you, blah, 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 back to them in their own language. And I don't know whether I said the right thing or not, but Google, I think, thinks it said the right thing. And so this conversation started between me and people just out over the world, and it's just brilliant. Like, it's brilliant for me because I'm like everybody else. I'm stuck in my house, and to just literally connect with somebody, and it is bizarre that it is the other end of the country, but it feels like it's weird because they act, when you get into it, I'm talking, they're sort of texting, and there's conversations going on. And then I'm on YouTube. I'm on now. This is real a step into the unknown. YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and then it goes out live onto my website for people who don't have those platforms. But I'm talking to there's conversations all around the place, and then these conversations go from one platform to the other platform, and people going, "What are you making? Oh, you're making this. Oh, that's really, really cool." And I'm going, "That's just brilliant. It's just fantastic."
It's like, yeah, it's amazing. And it's amazing that you even had that foresight to have the hack for Google Translate. Like, not many people would think that outside the box, but that's
I'm a
possibly.
chancer. I'm a complete chancer. I've a chancer all my life, even with film, getting onto film sets. I would literally, the best way to get onto a film set is to wear a high vis jacket and just walk in, and you're really important. Nobody says anything to you. And I did that when I was 20. Got into all sorts of film sets and had all sorts of luck. So I have a hard neck. So I'll just chance things and throw stuff back at people for the crack. You just see what happens.
That's incredible. I used to do similar things with a clipboard and a lanyard
Oh
at
yeah,
gigs.
completely. Yeah, completely, and you get away with it. No, maybe not all the time. Not all the time. But I think most people admire that sort of stuff. And I've never been thrown out, and I've gone to Star Wars sets. I've Leavesden Studios, Paulmcdonnell Studios, Shepperton Studios, Ardmore Studios, all of them. And this is when I knew nobody, and I wasn't stopped. I was walking around looking at this. Good, this is brilliant.
So outside of breaking into these places, how did your journey in film start?
38 years ago, I saw this. It just blew my mind. Michael Jackson's Thriller came out, and I was 9, like 9, and I was going. This is like everybody knew who Michael Jackson was at that stage. I know. Today is different, but back then he was a god. And then you see him transform into a zombie, and then you see him transform into a werewolf, and I just blew my mind, absolutely blew my mind. And so I'm at this 9-year-old who shy, like bullied at school and in my own world type stuff, and this was an escape. And like Ray Harryhausen, if anybody doesn't know Ray Harryhausen, you do. 7 Voyages of Sinbad, seeing those skeletons fight, and I'm going, I'm 9, but I knew that like this isn't real, but it is real, and it just blew my completely blew my mind. And even today, I get excited about it. And I saw that, and I just started playing with stuff, like literally started playing with clay, getting videos, books, no internet, crap library. And I'm going to the library going, do you have anything on Michael Jackson's Thriller? And they're going, what's Michael Jackson's Thriller? And I'm going, okay. So I scored I wrote away, and I got people answered me, and which was mad. I remember writing away complete chancer again. Like this chance that's gone through my life. I think it was about 12, and I wrote away to everybody knows Star Wars, but the actual people who create Star Wars, Lucasfilm, I wrote away to them to say, how do I do this? How do I get into this sort of stuff? I got a letter back. Now, it was a letter back, very nice, saying that, we don't have work. They didn't know I was 12. Of course they don't have work. But they were really lovely about it, and they just said, follow your passion. And that's all I've ever done, really, because I just love I love making stuff look real, or try to look real. And I've always tried to do that. Now, not necessarily succeeded. Like I remember turning to my sister, and it was Cats. Remember Cats come out? No, not Cats the film, Cats the actual theatre piece. She was obsessed, so I made her into Mr. Philosophy's. I think that's the name. And it was terrible. I had a Tina Turner wig on her, and did latex on her face to make her look like a cat. But to me, this is just brilliant, being able to transfer somebody into something else, and that's what I've always tried to do, really. And then I went to my career guidance teacher and said, "This is what I want to do," as you do as a 16-year-old, and they were looking at me going, "You sure you don't want to do accountancy or business studies?" And I go, "No." Wasn't particularly encouraged, and they were going, "But there's no jobs in this." And I says, "Well, somebody has to make this. I've just seen somebody make it, so I want to make it." And I went around the world for sport, and I did loads of. I did a portfolio and got really disheartened by that process, to be honest, and which is bizarre because I teach people in our college, but I know the process, and I got disheartened and left it, and went in a completely different direction. Went and did outdoor education, and got sick, came back, nothing to do, sitting at home, depressed. My mother says, "Get your backside out of here." And she got me into a portfolio course, and I just loved it. I loved the whole process of art, of creating, of being inspired by other people's work. And a course came up literally that year, and it was as if things went into place. And it was a model making course and a makeup course. I wanted to do makeup. They wouldn't let me on the makeup course because I'm a dude, and from my work, I think it was more spatial and miniatures than anything else. So I did the model making course, and I did that, and then went from film to film to film. My first film was working on space truckers, making spaceships. That was epic. But bizarrely, throughout my whole career, I've ended up teaching model making in IADT, and then ended up teaching makeup in IADT as well. Something that I wanted to do, but never really got a chance to do in industry, really. But I've done all sorts of stuff.
That's an incredible journey, and it's so nice to be able to hear how someone got to where they are. And it's all those misfortunate fortunes, kind of, those right places, wrong times that end us up in these unexpected avenues. When I was filling out my CEO application, I wanted to do the Portobello course for the makeup as well. So
now it's changed, that it's more it's very design driven, but there's still lots of craft and makeup in it. And I suppose when I meet people, I meet people all the time, and especially students, and you can see in them the want, and that want that I always had in me, of wanting to make stuff like him, and but not just a statue. We want to make him live. We want to make him create. Like I've grown up with Jim Henson's the Muppets, Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, all of that. Like and what's amazing to me, even the generation, I'm multiple generations away from my students, but that there's still a connection there. There's still this awe or this about making an inanimate object come to life. And like once you get in with a group of people that absolutely love that, it's really special, really cool.
Yeah, one of my favorite films is actually The Dark Crystal.
Mm.
I'm obsessed with the idea of gelflings and how lifelike they are and everything about that whole universe and the invention of it. Have you watched the new TV show on Netflix?
I have. I what's brilliant about it is that you can see it's the same with Star Wars, the same of that period of time. You can understand the vision that Jim Henson had or George Lucas were trying to make these things. They couldn't really make what they wanted to make because they hadn't got the technology. Now we do. But what's lovely about it is you can see, if you know, you can see the CG element, you can see the real element. But what's beautiful about it is it's a hybrid now. And what it is there was a period of time that CG is better, practical is better, and there's this fight and this war between it. And if you actually, and I've read loads of books, even within Lucasfilm, even within all of these houses, when it started moving into CG, there was this clash. But now with that, you can see like stupid stuff, like when you're looking at a gelfling's eye, and you're looking at then the pupil dilate, and like that sort of stuff. You could do physically, but it works really, really well digitally. Now, what's wonderful, and bizarre, this is really bizarre now, because I went from a place of trying to go to a library to find out all this sort of information about the Dark Crystal, all that sort of stuff. Now, I have books in another room that are, I have one book from Dark Crystal that is worth €300. Is the original, one of the original books. My wife doesn't know that. My kids don't know that either. But I've gone from that, and now we're in a world now that, like, talking about the Gelfling's eyes. I actually have met the person who has made those eyes. I did a course with him making eyes, and Tim Currens is his name, from Fort Seal Studios in Los Angeles. But even before I met him, I saw him on Instagram, and it just blows my mind that I can put something out, or they can put something out, and I'm connected to them in maybe only in a little way, but I am connected with these sort of gods and heroes of what I want to do, and sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes they would say something or comment something, and you go, oh my God, they just commented on it. Like I see my students do that too, and I'm just like that, as excited about when that happens to me. It's a brilliant time to be doing this sort of stuff. Brilliant time.
It is. It's really, really brilliant. And I love the way you talked about how things are kind of better collaboratively. And you're completely right, because there was a time where it was all CG or all prosthetics. And now the amalgamation of both those things is actually what's creating the true magic, and the understanding that when we work together, we always work better. It's
Oh,
just,
completely. Oh, well, my industry, like, it's weird at the minute because I'm on my own. And like the last gig I was on, it was a stop motion animation, Captain Morton and the Spider Queen, and it was a stop motion animation, and you're working with multiple people on that, and everybody thinks, even with a Gelfling, oh, one person made that. No, a whole team of people made that, and like, you can't have that just in one body. You need people who are really, really, really good at what they do. And sometimes that is somebody who's really good at putting on hair, somebody who's really good at making eyes, somebody who's really good at sculpting, somebody who's really good at molding, somebody who's really good at puppeteering. To have that in one body, it's very rare, very, very, very rare. But so you have to work collaboratively. Yeah, you just have to. You just have to, even for the soul.
Yeah, I think one of the best things I'm finding about these interviews is being able to kind of showcase everyone's magic, you know, because every single human being is so different in their perception of the world, in their art, their creativity, and it's been so nice to see all that. And that brings us back into what you're saying. We all need to work together because we all have that very special brand of magic that
Oh yeah.
nobody else has, that makes us so unique and beautiful, that if we can all work together and all showcase each other in a positive light, we're impacting the world in a big way.
I don't think people look at it like that though, because we're very very busy, and I think like I deal with students an awful lot, and they're sort of dealing with all the pressures of college, all the pressures of life, all the pressures of literally being here, and I'm going. Sometimes we can overshadow. It can get overshadowed. That I sort of described it as everybody's got this little spark inside them, and if we could just blow on it a little bit and make it into a flame, um, like it's amazing what you can do. Like, and I've seen it. I've seen it on many many gigs that I've been on, and you throw a bunch of people who do not know each other together, but you've one common goal, to create this mad world, and at the end of that, it's like, I'll give you an example. I work with Martins an awful lot, and I work with people who I won't see from one end of the world to the other until I'm doing a gig, and they're like family. Actually, they are family. And I was doing this gig in Hull. It was their European Year of Culture, same as 2020, but it was in Hull, and we went over with this character. And this character is about 18 foot tall, and there is about, I don't know, eight people who manipulate him. I'm up in the head. I can't see anybody, can't hear anybody. And there's this moment of connection when you work with people, and you work with people so much, that, and yeah, this is the voodoo weird stuff. I'm going, it'd be really cool now, because it just felt right. I tilted the head. I didn't feel the hand coming up. I didn't feel anything else. I just, inside me, I felt it, but I couldn't feel it in the body because I can't actually see anything. And I was going, it'd be really cool to do a Leonard Cohen moment, just real contemplative moment, and it was there. And for me, it was just like a fuzzy feeling, and then it went, and sort of parade mental people everywhere. And Nolene Kavanagh came up to me. She's the artistic director of Martin's, and she was going, "Whoa." And if you know Nolene, she's all hands, all energy, and she came to me, I love the Leonard Cohen moment, and I'm going, oh my god, that's just mental. But that's what happens when you work with these people on that level of working together. And when you get to that level of working with people, and like, they're not friends, they're not family anymore. It's this weird vibe of above that, and you're sort of thinking their thoughts before they've even done it. And with puppeteering, that's what happens. And the people below me, they didn't think about it at Leonard Cohen moment, but they were doing the motions, and it fitted all together into a perfect moment in time, and it was just weird. And that has happened to me so many times, when you're working together with a group of people, and it all comes together and just works, and you get this weird fuzzy feeling on you, and everybody feels it. And if you feel that, absolutely, I guarantee the audience feel it as well when they see it. If we feel it and it's real, they feel it as well. And it's that weird voodoo stuff, and that will transfer through screen as well. Not just in front of something on the street or something like that in Martins.
Yeah, no, we all kind of share different frequencies with different people that kind of allow us to communicate in a non-verbal way or in a non-written way.
Mm. And that there, we don't, I don't think we go into that enough. Like what I've started doing over the last, well, I've done it for my mom actually got me into it years and years ago, but I'm doing it twice a day now. Is meditation, and So I get up at 7, do meditation till 7:30, and then every day at 5:30, I will do meditation again. And that's my routine. So without routine now, I've made myself a routine, and I go sculpting, and nothing interrupts these things. I go sculpting on Wednesday, go sculpting on Saturday at 3, do my meditation at 5:30, do my meditation at 7:00. And that for me is my daily routine at the minute. But those vibrations that you're talking about, it's the same thing. It's just you add a little bit of magic on top of that, with film and that type of thing. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, the magic of film is in fact in being able to capture that, to be able to show it and showcase it to everyone. And that's a beautiful gift. It's not even a gift, it's a beautiful skill you have.
Uh, Everybody, there's lots of people who look at where now. I see people look at me and they say, "Oh, I would love to have what you have." And now I know what that's like. I have looked at other people, and I look at them today, and I say, "Oh, I would love to have what you have." And we were literally talking about this yesterday, and on the live, I was talking about it. People were listening. Well, I hope they were listening. But that it there's only one reason why he exists, because I actually did it. That's the difference between somebody who has done it and didn't do it. Is I've done it. I've made my mistakes, I said, and but I haven't looked at now I look at Beckett, and I'm trying to look at him and say, well, it's not that that's not good enough. But what it is, there's things that are not necessarily right with it. Am I going to criticize myself? No. Am I going to say that it is, sorry, I am going to criticize myself. Am I going to berate myself? No. But I am going to look at it and say, that's not right. Can I make it better? And I'm going, well, yeah. Is it going to take work? Fucking right it is. It's going to take a lot of work. Am I willing to put that work in? Yes, I am. So therefore, if you're willing to put the work in, it will get better. But I think today, even though Instagram and all that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant that you can connect with these people, there isn't instant about it, even in its name. Whereas to do this type of stuff, I believe everybody can do it. All it is practice. All it is time. And all it is belief that it will actually happen. And I suppose that's what I do nearly all the time with teaching. It's very, with teaching is a bizarre thing to fall into. I did not start out as being a teacher. Oh my God, I didn't even come into my world. But most of the time, what I do when I'm teaching, yes, there's techniques but you're talking out of 100%, it's probably 10%. The teaching is more mentor, more counselor, more somebody that if what I can do is inspire somebody to actually say, I'll have a go, or I'll do it. Or most of the time people come to me with loads of questions. Like I can't even go to the toilet without somebody asking me a question in IADT. But most of the time they know the answer. All I have to do is say, yeah, go do it, have a go, and inevitably it works out. But that's the wonderful thing about teaching. But the hard thing about teaching, I suppose, the same thing. You become mentor and counselor, but you have to be careful about that, and that you can't take people's stuff on. Like a lot of times, when people will see me and I'm like this, and it's not that I'm being I'm not restrained. I'm just trying to protect myself from the stuff that's around, because I don't think people realize how fragile I actually am, and I had to build myself up and work on myself to be able to stand in front of 40 students and say, right, lads, this is what we're going to do today. And I suppose that's given me the ability to be able to look at somebody who doesn't have that and guide them along the way. I suppose that's what teaching is guiding more than telling.
Yeah, you're right. And there's a few things I'd like to interject with, because I found them really poignant in what you said. So at the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned the importance of being able to light that spark and create fires, which effectively, whether you realize it or not, is what you do every day as a teacher. So well done. The other thing that I always
I
try
hope I
to,
do every day.
yeah, well, to the best of your ability, as often as possible. You're inspiring others. You are lighting fires. That is something you do. It's part of your magic. It's what makes you different. But the other thing that I found really interesting there was I always tend to, whenever I'm dealing with an artist, I always tend to remind them that yes, they have a gift, but they would not be where they are without all the hard work and practice they've put in to be where they are. Because nobody normally tells them that. People will walk up. There's an incredible pianist in town called Killian Brown. Something, he's just something very special. He's an incredibly special person as well. But he's magic. And most people will go up to him and go, "Oh, you're so gifted." And one of
Mm.
our first ever interactions, I went up to him and I went, "Man, you must have put in so much work to be that talented." And his face just dropped and he said, "That is the first time anyone has ever said that to me."
Yeah. It's a it's a bizarre thing for somebody, and I do get it. That somebody comes to you and say that you're really, really talented. I suppose that's your battle with your ego, and that's an ongoing thing. And arrogance and stuff like that. I don't think I'm an arrogant person, but I do, and I do know. I have never, ever, and all the things that I have gotten, I have never got a free ride, ever got a free ride. And like you say, people say, "Oh, geez, you're really lucky to see that set." No, I'm not. I am like I can tell you stories of nearly every gig that I've got, and each one, that story will last 40 minutes on how I got that gig. And people look at like the work that I do, and there are people who are better than me, and I'm okay with that. I am actually really cool with that, because I'm looking at that and going, thank God there are people who are better than me, so I can definitely learn. I can learn more. Whereas there is no way that I've got to where I've got to, and I know that I have to improve. I want to improve, without hard work. Like my daughter is they're learning the fiddle, and she also sees me drawing and or sculpting, and she says, "I want to be able to do that." I says, "Well, you can, but there's two things that have to happen to be able to do that: practice and hard work. That's just it." Now, there are people, and I've seen them, and innately in them, I see students, innately in them, you can see that they can draw, and they can beautifully draw. And then I have other students who find it very difficult. And what's bizarre about that is that the people who can draw sometimes will get to a level, and it's innately in them, so they can get to a level. The people who can't draw are down a little bit lower than that, ability-wise, but they work and they work and they work and they work, and then they're actually bigger. Will I say better than this? I'd say more evolved, is what I would say, and that was just down to guts, determination, and looking at yourself and saying, "No, at the minute, what I'm doing is not brilliant, but I want it to be better. How is it going to be better? Well, I'm going to bloody work at it and do it." I remember, you look at this stuff now. I remember I had a choice in secondary school, and the choice was to take science or art. That was it. That was your choice. So it was either, and that day I was going to bring it down that path or that path. And I was told by my art teacher, "Take science, Paul. It's not going to work out." And now I teach in an art college, which is like bizarre. Now, do I look at him and say, "No, fuck that fella"? So no, I thank him, because in my head, I'm going to prove you wrong. And the following year, I did, and he said it to me. He said it back to me, that he was wrong, and I think teachers or people, I'm in a very privileged position, because like we saw, and we can get complacent with it at times, but in the role of teaching, it's a very, very powerful role. And my father, when he was young, he was told that he will not be able to sweep the streets because he was that stupid. And the teacher told him that he saw him sweeping the streets one day, and my father kept that in him and basically said it back to him that yeah, I'm sweeping the streets, but I'm sweeping the street in front of my shop that I own. And that has always stayed with me. Is that you have to be very careful what you say to students and or anybody actually about in doing the creative work. You don't know where people are coming from. You don't know where they're at. You don't know the crap that's going on in the background. And with teaching, a kind word will go a hell of a long way, and a little bit of guidance will go a hell of a long way. And just saying to somebody, you know what, it'll be all right. It's okay for it to be bad. But it's not okay to go down into the depths of depression because it's not good at the minute. But what is okay is to say that's where it's at the minute, and I'm going to practice and I'm going to build up on that, and then take the wins when you get them. Because if a lot of people know me, and they'll know that I shoot from the hip, and what comes out of my mouth, I get in trouble for that too. There's no filter in here, and whatever I think comes out. But it's always honest. It's never a lie. It's always honest. I will tell people if something is not good. I will tell somebody if it is good. So take it when it's good, and then when it's not good, take it when it's not good and try to improve on it. That's what I would always do.
Yeah, this keeps coming back up in the interviews as well. It's the choice between being bitter or better, and that is a choice.
Oh. Oh my God! Okay, and that is a battle, a constant battle. I literally yesterday, and I literally spent an hour and a half doing a live on Beckett. Now, what people don't realize is that, and people are looking and say, "Oh, he's great." Yeah, but I was there at 7 o'clock that morning, 4 hours later, and then did an hour and a half. But even after that, I see on Facebook that there's another person going out live, and now this person, his name is Don Lanning. He's in Los Angeles. If everybody knows who this dude is, but you don't know who it is, and he's the guy who has sculpted Lost in Space. He sculpted the robot in Lost in Space. He's sculpted so many things. This man is like, if people think I'm talented, then he's a god. And he is putting out a live stream, and I'm going, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing here? I am so on the ground here level wise compared to this man, and I had to look at that and I'm going, that's okay, that's his level and this is my level. And what I had to remember was that it doesn't matter how many people were watching me, but there was one person who was watching me, and that meant a lot for her in her day or her week or her month, that she could watch something and get something out of it. So even I, at the level, get the little bits of crap. Should I do this? Should I not do this? But take the wins when you get them.
Yeah, we're all here to create. Like, we can't change the world, but we can make little dents. Even at his level, I'm sure there's someone above him. All of this, even with what I'm doing with my project, someone was like, "Oh, it's a great idea. Maybe I'll do it." And I was like, "Please do," because
that thing about you starting this, right? I firmly 100% believe, and this is what I was thinking yesterday, after I had my little wobbly, and I was going, the difference between you starting what you did and somebody else talking about starting what you did it. That's it. That's all it is. Same with Steve Jobs with Apple. Same with Bill Gates with all of these people. And now we look at all of that sort of stuff, and hopefully this would become so successful, and people would be looking at this is brilliant. Whitney, we're all looking, and your fans, and there were people saying, "Wait, you see the next episode." She's got so many people on there, really interesting people. But nobody looks back at the very beginning when you had 2 followers and you were calling out for all sorts of weirdos like me to interview. But nobody looks at that. They always look at the end result and the really, polished finish. But nothing is ever polished at the beginning, ever.
Yeah, it's the same as you having to learn all the mediums and how to use social media now in a different outlet completely. I'm upskilling every day. Like, I'm trying to get my light right. I'm trying to, and then people
Oh my
like
God.
you reaching out to me, like that has me completely wobbled. Like
Look, I actually I could look and I could say that person has 2 followers. Why would I bother doing that? And I said, I didn't do that. What I did was, it says this person has a really good idea, and they've just said, "Are you doing this?" And they're going, "Yeah, I am doing this actually at the minute. Would you mind talking about it?" Yeah, I wouldn't mind talking about it. I don't know where any of this crack's going to go, if it goes anywhere. But all I do know is that that wee girl who messaged me yesterday and said, "Actually, I really look forward to doing that." That's enough. That is absolutely enough. And the difference between doing that and not doing it is or people talking about doing it, and there's lots of people who talk about doing stuff. Do it. Have the wobbly before you go out live. Have the, oh Christ, why am I doing this? Do I sound like a complete tool? My hair is bed hair. The lighting is crap. Oh my God, it's not going live. Oh, what do you do here? Oh shit, I pressed the wrong button. All of that sort of stuff. Like, but then people see, "Oh, Beckett, and it's all lovely, and it's all chill, put some music on." But nobody sees the, oh my God, beforehand. Do it. You try and do it. It's not as easy. It's not easy.
And I'm really grateful that you saw that in my idea and trusted me. It's really nice to know that someone else believes in what you're doing, even though you're very kind of lowbrow. So thank you.
I don't look at it as lowbrow. What I look at, this is the God's honest truth, and this is my philosophy in life now. When I was back when, and all through all my career, and as I said, I got nothing handed on the plate, absolutely nothing. Like back on films, you're talking. I was the stupid Paddy, and that was literally said to me. And I had to like literally. I was bitter and sweet. I ended up working in Jim Henson's Creature Shop, the dude who actually made it, Dark Crystal. And in that place, I was the stupid Paddy. And I had to prove and show people, I'm not stupid. I'm not just a Paddy. You shouldn't be even looking at that. This is my skill level. But what I wanted, and this is what I want now, and I suppose that's why I'm doing what I do, and that's why I probably end up teaching, is that if somebody asks for help, or somebody wants a notch up, or somebody just literally wants to talk, if you can give them a little step up on a ladder, bloody give it to them, will you? Because like what's it going to cost? 5 minutes of your life? Well, I don't know how long we were talking about, 45 minutes of our lives. It doesn't matter. And it's so important that you help people get up onto the next level. And you never ever bloody know. Like, and because I remember the dude who gave me the job on Space Truckers, and I was so grateful. So grateful. That's something that we should talk about a little bit, is being grateful. I was so grateful for getting that job. I was in a dark place. People were getting jobs around me. I was getting nothing, but I got this job. Now there's an hour of a conversation in getting that job, of resilience and determination, and of not all smelling roses either. But a couple of years later, he ended up working for me. So you never know where the swings and roundabouts go. And then a couple of years later, we set up a company together. Now things changed. I got sick, and I got cancer, so I had to sort of back off things an awful lot. And that there is something that people look at this stuff. They look at me now and like I sort of have a 10, bit receding. No bad hair. I did actually brush my hair, and I wore a shirt. This was actually cool today because I actually made an effort today. Everybody sees that, but nobody sees people's life journeys. They see the glass on the top, and there has been many people who have helped me along the way. And believe it or not, and if you go online now, you'll see him. There's a character from Ofness. I just wanted to say this because this person here helped me an awful lot. And if you could help people like this, and she didn't even know she did this, but she did. After cancer, I was in a very dark place, and I was in a lot of pain. I'm still in a lot of pain. People don't see that either. My hands hurt all the time, but I sculpt. Sometimes I have to put my hands into ice because they hurt so much. Am I going to stop? No fucking way. And I did not think I could sculpt anymore because of the pain. And Nolene Kavanagh from Mockness. I live in Galway now. I don't live in Dublin anymore. I live in Spittle. And I've seen this, and I was going, this is something I really want to do. This is just like epic. Like this is puppets on speed. And like these things are just huge. They're just engineering feats, and I want in on this. And I got to know Nolene, and not through that world, through my sister-in-law, and we became friends. And I'm in her kitchen one day, and she's stressed balled out, and she's this massive character to create for this period, and she has nobody to sculpt the head. And I'm going, well, what do you need done? And now this is an exercise of working in collaboration and community. And she says, I just need somebody to sculpt the head. And I says, okay. And I said, what do you need done after that? And me trying to suss her out, she says, am I going to literally be dumped in stuff here? And am I actually going to be able to cope with this? Because I like lots of things that people don't know about me with cancer. I ended up in the psychological ward and all sorts of stuff because I was so low. That's what cancer did. No, I'm not that now. I'm not that now at all. But that took work too. But anyway, I ended up doing this head with another fabulous sculptor called Paddy Hoyne, and a student, ex-student of mine, and a friend of mine. And that there, through her just giving me a space and trusting in me, and giving me not just lobbing this stuff on me, but it was like a supportive environment, like a family. And I was allowed to do what I do, but feel protected and in a comfortable place. That's what she did for me. And that sculpt, will you see him? He's called Crom. He's a giant. And you can see the pain in him. And people look at him and they can, and Beckett is actually in him. That's where Beckett has come from.
Okay.
I always want to do Beckett from him. And if you look at Crom's forehead, that's Beckett's forehead. And from there, that's where I actually started rehabilitating sculpting wise. And now people don't know that stuff. They're looking at this and they're going, oh, that's deadly, but they don't know all the stuff in the background.
No, nobody ever sees the hard work you put in. Nobody ever really cares either, and they shouldn't. And we shouldn't really care too much either, because we know what we do. Even if it's just putting one foot in front of the other. There have been days in my past where my mountain was taking a shower.
Oh, yeah. Oh, getting out of bed. Take the shower. Oh, completely. No, I completely get that. And I've had those days. And I still have those days. But those days are getting a lot less frequent. And doubt can come into stuff like that. Doubt's a horrible thing for people. And I see students all the time. I see people all the time with huge doubt. And I'm going, yeah, but that there's a little thing there. We just need to work on that. Forget about all this other stuff and work on the little thing, and that little thing will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I have to say, whenever I feel that I can't do something, or I look back to Crom, and what's amazing, what is absolutely amazing with that is later on, when Crom actually got his debut, on the streets of Galway, and then Dublin, and then Hull, and then London. We did Paddy's Day in London, which was bizarre. Um, People see in him the hurt and the pain. People can see in him something else, and uh, they can, there's sort of a lot of me in Crom, in that there's a harshness and a softness, a weakness and a strength. There's all of these yin and yangs in there, a sadness, a joy, all of these things. And depending on what way you look at him, from what angle, you see a different aspect of Crom. And I will always go back to him and say, no, I can do this. But I know where I come from as well. It came from pain. It came from doubt. It came from fear. Fear is an awful, awful thing. Fear is an awful, awful thing for creative. And I want to get a T-shirt. I want to get this made. Fear is only useful when you've been chased by dinosaurs, because they don't feckin' exist anymore. Like it can be good, but I know a lot of people that it's paralyzing. And with this creative world, and I fear for it at the minute, because you have people in their homes, separated from all of this, with no money, and like €1,000 to somebody in an art world, what is that going to do, really? It'll do something, and people will need it, and I'm not going to scoff the people who can need it, who need it, because they do need it. Luckily, I do have a job and I'm teaching from home. But there's a lot of fear going on at the minute, huge amount of fear going on at the minute, and it's sort of the nemesis, really, of creativity. And whereas it can work the other way as well, is creativity can eradicate the fear. So I think that's a path that we need to not 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 find again. We already are on that path. We were always on that path. We just need to shine a big feckin' light on it. You know, one of those Klieg lamps for the Oscars. That's what we want. Shine that on creativity from all around the place and see what happens. And
I
fear will.
think this moment in time is allowing that to happen. I think
Yeah, I
it's
think so. Yeah.
pushing people. You've no choice, lads. You can talk about it or you can do something. You know, that fight or flight thing that comes from fear. For me personally,
And it's okay. It is okay. There's a lot of people out there who are really petrified. And if your solace is watching Netflix for an hour, that's okay. That is okay. But let's say after that hour of Netflix, don't try and not go back to the place you were in before that hour of Netflix, and then go out, and after that, a little bit of peace. Work off that rather than the place before. Small steps, always small steps. Like if we looked at and said, I want to make Beckett now, that's the mountain up here. And whereas the first thing I have to do is, I need clay. I need wood, I need tools, or even I just need a little bit of a spark of wanting to be able to make something. And there are loads of people out there that there's a lot of stuff. Use this time to learn. Now I'm doing that. I'm trying, but there are days I don't want to do that, and I'm as scared as everybody else. That's okay. That is okay. But it's not okay for people to sit in the depths of depression. Those people might need help, though, from
yeah,
other people who are not.
everyone needs someone to push them and propel them. Everyone needs that. And then what you do with that is completely up to yourself. But by being
Sometimes
kind,
it's push and propel, sometimes it's drag.
yeah.
But you can only drag somebody so far. And then they have to sort of, you can help somebody, like you can show somebody the stepping stones, but they actually have to actually stand in them themselves. You have to put one foot in front of the other.
And that's what every day is just putting one foot in front of the other. If what you need to do is just get out of bed, then that's enough. But
Mhm.
whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes someone said to me recently that really stayed with me was stop concentrating on what you can't do and concentrate on what you can do.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Like if you concentrate on what you can't do, Christ Almighty, there's a road, a spiral of depression. And whereas if you can brush your teeth. If you can bring the dog for a walk, bring the dog for a walk. If you can look at a nutter like me and you can make salt dough, let's have a sculpt. Doesn't bloody matter if it looks crap. It doesn't matter at all. It might look crap. Believe you me, some of my stuff looks absolutely horrendous. But I will work at it. I have one quote that it's up on my wall, and I never can. I'm dyslexic, so I fucking forget everything. It comes in one and out the other. So it's up on my wall, so I don't forget it. I'm going to read it out, and it's actually by himself here, and I've posted it up around. And this is my philosophy in life completely. Ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail, fail better. There's too much in this world of a negative connotation with failure. Failure is the way we learn. If we think we're not going to, if it's going to be perfect first way around, um, well, then you're a little bit delusional. That's not going to happen. So we should be looking at failure as good. Like, I failed. Oh, well, I don't know what to do. I know what not to do now. Don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a positive. I love that quote. Love it.
I
Absolutely.
love that quote as well. And I always tell people, you didn't used to know how to walk, and look at you now.
Oh, complete. How did you start walking? One foot in front of the other, and I think we forget about things like that. And you look at a kid, and they will get frustrated. They would fall. They get up again, and they will get up again, and they will put one foot in front of the other, and you will see the joy, and you'll see the accomplishment of what standing, walking 3 steps. And you're telling me you can't see that? Of course you can see that if you're open to that. But that's the start of everything. Even me doing stuff what I'm doing. I do private classes during the summer, and this is the God's honest truth, and this is fear, absolute bucket loads of it. I had been asked to do these classes to teach people how to sculpt, and it was to do a bust and be as lifelike as possible. And so I was thinking about this for a long time, and I went on Facebook. Again, people think I'm good at this stuff. Oh my God, I'm not. And I went on Facebook and started playing with events, and no, they still wreck my head. I don't know who designs Facebook, but by God, they need to talk to me or somebody else. I put it on the events, and I put a photograph up there of a sculpt I had. It's the only thing I had, and I put a date on it. Didn't think about it, and it's all in my head. It's all fictitious. I was just playing around, and I didn't. I was never ever going to put this live ever, because I was petrified of doing this. Because I was petrified of doing it because what would people think? Will people come? Am I good enough? And I I shut the computer, went to bed, got up the next morning and looked at Facebook, and there was all sorts of likes on my Facebook, and I was going, "What's this for?" And because this is in the infancy of me doing Facebook, and oh Jesus Christ, I put the event live. Oh my God! And my heart literally, no, I actually had a panic attack, and I was going, oh Jesus Christ, what do I do? How do I get rid of this? And I think it was 3 people said, I want to do this. And I said, okay, somebody wants to do this. Then I had somebody else from Skillnet, from Siobhan the Gyra, from up the road. And I had briefly talked to her about this. And she said, do you need some funding? Can we do it together? And I'm going, oh, Jesus Christ. No, this is really real. And I had nowhere to do this, absolutely nowhere to do this. And I said, right, this is getting really real. Where am I? I can't do this in my kitchen. So I asked Nolan Cabinet, could I do it in Mockness? And she says, well, of course you can do it in Mockness. So I've done it every year for the last 4 years. I'm supposed to do it this year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that has gone. That's gone from strength to strength, and that came out of a place of pure and utter fear and petrification, and nearly didn't happen. Actually, it wasn't going to happen. It just pure stupidness coming to with the Facebook events that I actually did put it live, and people just took it,
And that was a
now.
very happy accident. Like, I mean, that's
Oh,
something you never would have been brave enough to do otherwise.
no, and to be honest, last year the people, well, students, participants, people who came, they were we did a sculpting course, and they were saying, you know, it'd be really cool, Paul, if we could make these into silicone and paint them and hair punch. And I was going, yeah, that would be pretty cool. And I said, feck it, why don't we do it? I don't think they realize, but I planked myself, because I'm the one that's saying, well, like, you sort of put your balls on the line, excuse my French, you do, and said, well, we are going to do this, and we did it last year, and it's up on, it's all up on the stuff, Facebook and YouTube. Of what we did, and I have to say I was so proud of those. Every year it blows my mind, absolutely blows my mind, what these people create. Now, I'm there. I'm the teacher, yeah, but I'm more the facilitator, really, and they will blow your mind. I have one girl, and well, a few people, but one girl always comes to mind, and she's in I always make videos of the stuff. It's just a nice thing to do. And her name is Saoirse Daly McManus. Now she's going to die with the fact that I've actually mentioned her name. She did the course with me twice. She did a sculpting course and then came back to do the silicone course. And in the video, the first one, I interview. Well, I don't interview, but I get them to answer questions. And what was your experience of sculpting before doing this? And she made a ladybird and a pinch pot out of clay.
Okay.
That was our only sort of connection with sculpting. And she made this absolutely stunning sort of African male with dreadlock hair coming down, and blew me away. Then she comes back and she says to me, I want to make a replica of Danny DeVito. Oh, Jesus Christ. The hardest thing to possibly do is make a replica. And I know, because I'm doing one. That stuff there is easy, because nobody knows what that looks like. He is what he is. Him, it's Beckett. It's either he is or he isn't. And you have a hell of a lot of critics. And she was saying that I want to make that in the video. And I go, in my head, Jesus Christ, to her face, brilliant, let's have a go. And you know what? Have a look. It blew me away, absolutely blew me, and it looks like Danny DeVito. Maybe not perfect, but by God, it looks like Danny DeVito. And that, for me, I have to say, like, yeah, I make money out of doing that stuff, and sharing my opinion on all this sort of stuff is, I will tell you everything that I know, you go and do it. You see how hard or easy it is. I have no problem with telling. I'll tell everybody, you use this, you get it there. And that's something I always wish that I was told. I never was. I had to find out everything. But it's not easy to do. But when you see what these people come up with, and I'm saying 10 days, and I flogged them. Like, and they're paying to do this, and I flogged them. And I will arrive at about 8 o'clock. I leave about 7 o'clock, and I say to people, you can be there if you want. But I only start teaching between 9 and 6. I don't. But like, I'm there, they're there. So they do a 14-hour day, and for 10 days solid, they are absolutely wrecked. But by God, they leave on a high. And that, for me, that high and that joy of being able to transform and make something it's like cocaine. Now, I've never had cocaine, but I think it's like cocaine. It's just a high, absolute high, and I absolutely love it. Now, I will fall into my bed after that, but I don't think they realized how much I was worried about it not happening. But it did happen. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do it this year, but hopefully.
We can reinvent it. But it's funny that you mentioned those classes because obviously, as I said to you in our pre-interview, I reached out to a few of my artist friends, and one of my artist friends in particular, I'd like to talk about her, and she's going to be mortified, but
Go on.
she's someone that I respect in such a high manner. She would have always been artistic, but she would have had different reasons to not be able to pursue her life dream.
Mm-hmm.
So she finally went back and pushed herself really hard and did a jewelry making course in Thomastown. And she now has her own company called Strong Roots, where she makes the most fantastic looking copper and silver jewelry ever, and it's all based on Celtic mythology surrounding nature and the importance of having strong roots within ourselves, within our female being, within our family ties and stuff like that. And one of her dreams is actually to go to one of your classes, which is something I didn't know until this morning when I reached out to her in a panic going, what questions do I ask him?
Yeah, what questions did she give you?
That's what I'm going to ask you next. They're good.
Oh, go on.
They're good. So it was like, what or who inspired you into this calling?
Well, I think I answered that, but
Oh yeah, you did.
it was Michael Jackson's Thriller. Ray Harryhausen. In Michael Jackson's Thriller, the dude who, like you, John Landis, who was the director, who went on to do American Werewolf in London. Then you had Rick Baker, who did the makeup for both. And Rick Baker, he's like a god. And then if you go back, who he learned it off, Dick Smith. God, I don't think there's another level to God. I don't know what that is. But I've always looked at their work and going, this is just, and there's multiple people out there, but that and Ray Harryhausen and scenes, and knowing, I knew as a kid, this is not real, but it is real. And that's what fascinated me. It was making something in real form, and making it come to life and fooling people into thinking that it's real. And I think that's what I love about that. I just finished the master's 2 years ago, and my whole work was about sort of that, playing with the uncanny valley, and playing with, I want to touch, is it real? Is it not real? I want to touch it. Oh, I don't want to touch it. Oh, it's really freaky. Oh, but it's really it's really endearing. And just this weird, and in my piece, I was encouraging people to touch, and some people wanted it, some people didn't want it. That whole weird stuff, I just love of trying to make something come to life. So I'd say we'd start with Michael Jackson, definitely. Thriller, absolutely, and Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah, and you did answer it without me even having to ask it, but it was a really insightful question that I thought she asked, so I wanted to mention it again. The other question she asked was the change in tools and equipment that we can, and what changes we can implement with these current times, with any problems getting to the effective tools.
Okay, it's bizarre you say it. That's a bizarre question that you come up with, because literally yesterday I'm doing a live with him, and I know that people don't have there's tools I use, and I made a tutorial, and it's up on YouTube, about how to make tools and the tools that they use, the people that you go to get these tools, I didn't know any of this stuff at all, and whereas just through doing this, I've gotten to know these people all around the world. So it's all up there. So watch it. It's about an hour and a half, and you'll know where you can get the best tools in the world. They don't exist other than these places. Go to them, you'll love them. What I've done as well is that I actually have one beside me because I'm sculpting him. This is one of my tools here. I made this, and it's piano wire, not piano, guitar wire, bass wire actually, and this stuff is just metal. K&S is what it's called, from a company called K&S, and I did a tutorial on how to make that as well. And that went out, and because what was coming back to me was, I'd love to do this stuff, but I've no tools. So I said, right, there's a tool making course. Where you go. And then there was people saying before that, I don't even have that. I have no money. Like, people have lost their jobs on this. Like, I can afford to get that stuff, and it's not expensive. It's about a fiver. Whereas some people, the fiver is going towards food. It's not going towards this sort of stuff. So I was going, well, what have people got in their houses? So I went to the crap drawer in the kitchen, the one that everybody has. That drawer, that it's either at the bottom or at the top. And I emptied it, and I got old pens, I got pins, I got dog brushes, I got all sorts of stuff. And I basically made sculpting tools. And actually, there's a guy talking about the dark crystal. He's making at the minute the Skeksis. He's making Chamberlain, who is the nasty one, and he's making a version of him. And what he's using is a spoon to sculpt. So there's no reason why anybody out there needs to spend anything to make any tools. There are really, really cool tools out there, and I go through them. And every time I'm doing that, I find, oh crap, there's another one. Like yesterday, I forgot. There's a tool I use an awful lot. Let me see if I got it. Yeah, I do. No, this is manky. That there is a lemon zester. That there has sculpted the top of his head. So everybody thinks that there is a magical tool out there that will help me do something. Yeah, but these are the best ones. These ones. And we all have them. Well, some poor people don't, but even I know a dude who has 3 fingers. And let me see, he's that. And he's a better sculptor than I am. So, that doesn't matter. So I've done a tutorial on how to make tools. I've done a tutorial on what to use, how to get tools from around the house. And then people were saying, I can't afford clay. And there's clay that I'd like to use. And I was going, right, how do we do that? Well, I remember back when I was a kid, and I made, my ma, she would have made salt dough.
Yeah.
So that is accessible to everybody, I think, within reason. And then I was going, well, all I had made was really crappy, reindeers and angels for Christmas stuff to hang on a Christmas tree. And I said, well, if people want to do that, they can. But then what I did was I sent out a post on Instagram and Facebook with the tutorial. It's up on Facebook or YouTube as well. But with the tutorial, it's an hour and a half. But on that, I put a Pinterest link in, and of people who have used salt dough. Look at it. It is amazing. There's a dragon there that is unbelievable. There is a piece of work there. I can't remember the artist, but it's in a museum in London. This dude, all he uses is salt dough. So I've tried as much as possible. It is my passion to do this stuff, and if we can get it, and my idea behind all of this was, if we can get as many people sculpting, or just creating, actually just people who they're watching me. There was one dude yesterday, Brian, and Brian is making, I think he said, a miniature version of mountains in China for a little landscape that he's making for college. So it doesn't really matter that it's a creature or it's a character. It doesn't matter. It's just create. Let's say we're all creating together for an hour. So there's loads of people out there. Oh, there's another girl, and she was making a totem pole made out of wood. And I was going, totem pole made out of wood. And then another girl was saying, what's a totem pole? So we had this conversation over platforms, and then she was saying, I'm putting in resin into the cracks because it cracked. And I was going, cool. But the resin glows in the dark. And I was going, deadly. So you had other people going, you know, that's really cool. I'm a DJ. I want to make a DJ booth that glows in the dark. And I was going, this is brilliant. Because like from that person doing a totem pole, there was nothing got to do with Beckett, nothing got to do with really sculpting in clay, but it's in wood. It's a creative process. And then she's going, oh, feck it, I'm just going to fill it with glowing resin. And then this other girl goes, cool, I could make a DJ booth out of that. Like, you know, the ramifications go out and out and out and out. And I suppose that's all that I wanted, was that we could create a space and to create and not and use our time in a fruitful way rather than a scary way or fear way or just sitting looking out the window. That's okay, but sitting out looking out the window, feeling that angst or this pressure on you. I don't feel that when I'm doing this. And time, it's amazing. When I'm with people for an hour and a half, and they will think it's 5 minutes. Really. So sorry, I rambled on there for a bit. So that's tools and sculpting materials.
No, that's amazing. I think we've covered pretty much everything I had to talk about with you today. But I would be, I think, really interested in the future in doing a follow-up interview, because I know you have so much more to share and you are so interesting.
Thank you.
So, you know, we might do that. But
yeah.
For now, obviously, take the opportunity to give a plug to everything you're doing. So I'll make sure that all your links are under the video as well, so anyone can find you on social media. And if anyone's enjoyed this video, please feel free to either share it or subscribe to the channel, because as Paul said, I am still growing and I'm still trying to get.
That's going to be weird, I have to say, is when this goes out, because like I've never done anything like this before. I know you have started, and I've watched the videos, and they're lovely to watch. And what's lovely about it is that there's a simple connection there. It's real. It's real. And I'm not here to really, honestly, I'm not here to plug anything other than I'm like everybody else. I need a connection. And this is my way of connecting. And it's my, like, even setting up cameras or trying to figure out stuff. It's good for me. And it gets my mind in something else, something better. And that's why I connected with you, because I'm looking at you trying to do exactly a different way, but the same way in a way. And I'm just delighted to be able to do this. Absolutely delighted, and I absolutely would do more. And even for people out there, and I've said it to people, and I am like this in college as well. If you have a question about anything got to do with model making, creatures, puppets, anything got to do with the creatives at all, or not, and you want to link together, message me. I will answer. No, might not. It might be in my car, or it might be on the road, or you know, I never know where I'll be actually messaging you. And sometimes I will you know, voice people, because texting's just way too fucking long. But yeah, I'll answer all the questions you need answered if I can answer them.
And that's a really nice thing. You seem like such an open person, and it's been really interesting getting to know you. And I'm absolutely sure that there are massive fans of yours out there that the second they see this, they're going to get a completely different insight to who you are as a person and how you function, and see different sides of your magic other than just there is a really incredible artist. They're going to see how much work you put into it, how it was a struggle to get where you are, how there are beautiful other stories, which hopefully we'll be able to cover in a follow-on interview, or even better, someone else sees this and they're like, I want to interview that guy, and they give you a better platform than me again. Do you know?
Let's not say better. Let's say different.
Yes, different.
I don't like better. Never like better. Different's better.
None of us are better than each other, but we're all different.
Completely, absolutely. And there's always room to grow.
Look, thank you so much, Paul. I'm going to stop the recording now, but I'll get back to talking to you in a second.